the Aston Martin V8. Vantage 2026 rolls into the conversation like it owns the room. Because honestly, it kind of does. This car isn't just another refresh, or a mild update meant to keep the lights on until the next big thing. It feels like Aston Martin doubled down on what made the Vantage iconic in the first place, and then cranked everything up with modern tech, sharper performance, and a vibe that still screams old school cool while living comfortably in the future, in a world where a lot of performance cars are starting to feel over-digitized, overly sanitized, or straight up soulless. The 2026 V8 Vantage reminds you why people fall in love with sports cars in the first place. It's loud when it needs to be, smooth when you want it to chill, and stylish in a way that doesn't beg for attention but gets it anyway. From the moment you lay eyes on it, the 2026 Vantage makes it clear that Aston Martin isn't chasing trends, it's refining an identity. The stance is wider, lower, and meaner without going full cartoon mode. The sculpted body lines look like they were drawn by someone who actually drives fast cars, not just renders them on a screen. The front end is aggressive but classy, with a grille that looks like it could inhale. The road ahead and headlights that have this sharp, confident glare. Around back, the taillights are sleek and modern, wrapping the rear in a way that feels aerodynamic and intentional. It's one of those designs where you keep noticing new details every time you walk around it, and that's a big deal in a segment where a lot of cars blur together. After 5 minutes, pop the hood, and that's where the magic really starts. The 2026 Aston Martin V8 Vantage packs a twin turbocharged 4.0-liter V8 that hits hard and sounds even better. This engine has been refined to deliver stronger mid-range punch,
quicker throttle response,
and a more aggressive soundtrack that feels raw without being obnoxious. It's the kind of power plant that makes on-ramps feel like personal drag strips, and back roads feel like playgrounds. The numbers are impressive on paper, sure, but what really matters is how it feels. And this thing feels alive. You tap the throttle and it responds instantly. No hesitation, no drama, just pure go. The acceleration is straight up addictive. The Vantage launches with authority, pinning you back in the seat, while the exhaust lets out a growl that reminds you this is still a proper V8 in an era that's trying to move on from them. 0 to 60 happens fast enough to mess with your sense of time, and passing power is effortless. You don't have to plan moves in this car, you just do them. Whether you're cruising on the highway or carving through twisty roads, the power delivery feels confident and controlled, never frantic. It's fast, but it's smart fast, and that's a tough balance to strike. Handling is where the 2026 Vantage really flexes. Aston Martin dialed in the suspension and chassis in a way that makes the car feel planted without being harsh. The steering is sharp and communicative, giving you real feedback instead of filtered nonsense. You feel connected to the road in a way that's getting rare these days. The car corners flat, grips hard, and inspires confidence even when you're pushing it. It doesn't feel like it's trying to scare you or show off. It feels like it wants to work with you. That makes it just as fun for spirited weekend drives as it is for daily use, which is exactly what a modern sports car should be. Inside the cabin, Aston Martin clearly listened to feedback. The interior of the 2026 V8 Vantage feels more modern, more intuitive, and way more user-friendly than before. High-quality leather, real metal accents, and tasteful stitching give the cabin that luxury feel people expect from the brand. But now it's paired with tech that actually makes sense. The infotainment system is smoother, faster, and easier to use, with a clean interface that doesn't make you want to pull over just to change a song. The digital displays are crisp and customizable, giving you all the info you need without overwhelming you. The seats deserve a shout-out because they strike a sweet balance between comfort and support. You can sit in them for hours without feeling beat up, but they'll also hold you in place when you start pushing the car hard. The driving position is spot on, low and sporty, making you feel like you're part of the machine instead of just along for the ride. Everything is laid out logically, from the controls to the steering wheel buttons, and that makes a huge difference in everyday driving. This is a car you can actually live with, not just admire from afar. Sound is a big part of the Vantage experience, and the 2026 model absolutely nails it. The exhaust note is deep and aggressive, without being annoying or drony on the highway. Cold starts have that dramatic bark that makes you grin, while cruising keeps things calm and civilized. Step on it, though, and the car sings in a way that reminds you why internal combustion engines still have a place in performance cars. It's emotional, it's mechanical, and it feels real. No fake noise pumped through speakers, no gimmicks, just authentic sound. One of the most impressive things about the 2026 Aston Martin V8 Vantage is how versatile it feels. A lot of sports cars lean too hard in one direction, either going full track weapon or trying too much to be a luxury cruiser. The Vantage manages to sit comfortably in the middle. You can daily drive it without feeling like you're making sacrifices. But when the road opens up, it's more than ready to throw down. That dual personality is what makes it so appealing, especially for buyers who want one car that does it all. Fuel efficiency isn't the main reason anyone buys a V8 sports car, but Aston Martin made smart improvements here too. The 2026 Vantage is more efficient than previous versions, thanks to engine refinements and smarter transmission tuning. It's not going to win any eco awards, but for what it is, it's surprisingly reasonable. That just adds to the sense that this car was designed with real-world use in mind, not just spec sheets and marketing slogans. When it comes to competition, the Vantage is stepping into a crowded ring. Cars like the Porsche 911, Mercedes-AMG GT, and even some high-end electric performance models are all fighting for attention. What sets the Aston Martin apart is its personality. It doesn't feel clinical or overly engineered. It feels like a driver's car with soul. There's a sense of occasion every time you get behind the wheel, and that's something you can't always quantify, but you definitely feel it. The 2026 V8 Vantage also benefits from Aston Martin's renewed focus on quality and reliability. Build quality feels tighter, materials feel more durable, and everything just feels more solid. That's huge for a brand that's sometimes been criticized in the past. This version of the Vantage feels like Aston Martin is serious about competing at the top level. Not just in performance, but in ownership. Experience too, safety, and driver assistance tech are present, but not intrusive. You get the features you expect in a modern car, like adaptive cruise control, lane assist, and advanced braking systems. But they don't take over the driving experience. They're there to help, not to babysit. That's another example of how well balanced this car feels overall in the U.S. market. The 2026 Aston Martin V8 Vantage hits a sweet spot for buyers who want something different. It's not as common as some of its rivals, and that exclusivity is a big part of the appeal. Pulling up in a Vantage still turns heads, but it does it in a subtle, confident way. It's not screaming for attention, it's just quietly flexing ownership of an Aston Martin has always been about more than just the car, and the 2026 Vantage continues that tradition. There's a sense of heritage and craftsmanship that comes with the brand, and this model honors that while embracing modern performance standards. It feels like a bridge between classic Aston Martin values and the future of sports cars. The driving modes allow you to tailor the car to your mood, whether you're just cruising through the city or attacking a mountain road. Each mode noticeably changes the car's behavior, from throttle response to suspension stiffness, making it feel like multiple cars in one. That adaptability makes it easy to justify as a daily driver, even if it's clearly capable of much more. One of the coolest things about the 2026 Vantage is how it makes you feel as a driver. There's confidence, excitement, and a sense of connection that's hard to find. It doesn't feel like the car is doing everything for you, but it also doesn't punish you for enjoying it. It encourages you to drive, to explore, to take the long way home just because you can. As the automotive world shifts toward electrification, cars like the Aston Martin V8 Vantage 2026 feel extra special. They represent a moment in time where performance, emotion, and craftsmanship still come together in a traditional package. That doesn't mean Aston Martin is ignoring the future, but it does mean they're making sure the present is worth remembering for enthusiasts, collectors, and anyone who just loves a well-built performance car. The 2026 V8 Vantage checks a lot of boxes. It's fast, beautiful, comfortable, and engaging. It doesn't try to reinvent the wheel. It just makes sure the wheel is perfectly balanced, insanely fun, and wrapped in some of the best design out there. At the end of the day, the Aston Martin V8 Vantage 2026 isn't about chasing lap times or winning spec sheet battles. It's about delivering an experience. It's about the sound of the engine, the feel of the steering, the look of the car parked in your driveway, and the smile it puts on your face every time you drive it. In a market full of impressive machines, the Vantage stands out by being memorable. And that might be the most important thing of all.